some of you are making really good money and you have no staff. So where's the money going? Like, I'm like, you only need to have so much in that account. It's not like I built this savings account up. It was, it was touch and go sometimes. I'm just being honest with you. But what it did do is kept me working every single week. I never lost that consistency. See, a lot of people take time off. We didn't do that. I'm just being honest with you. Now I can if I want. But I'm just saying I just didn't take a lot of time off. I stayed in consistent work ethic every time. So sometimes having someone call this person. So if it wasn't making any money, Sean said this again, one of the things he taught me early on is like, I heard him say, he said, if it's not making you money, then pay somebody else to do it.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Elite Sales Podcast. I'm joined in studio today by John Bacaron with FFL Elite Syndicate.
How's it going?
Clifton Henry with FFL Generational.
How's it going?
Got the man behind the scenes all the time as usual. We got Yoel Einalam, engineering the show for us. I'm actually really honored today. I'm always excited when I get an opportunity to speak to him. He's on the other side of the country, but one of my favorite guys, one of my truly favorite guys within FFL. He's always been one of the nicest guys, super hardworking. He'll help anybody and everybody that asks, So he actually just he actually just completed his deal. He got his integrity partnership. I couldn't be any happier for him or anyone that got the deal. This is legitimately one of my favorite guys. So we got Dave Whichard with FFL Velocity. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations.
Thank you for coming on.
Congrats, my man.
Well, thank you so much, Albert. And, it's, you're one of my favorite people too. So it's always good to hear from your brothers and your friends that, that obviously makes you feel good. And I think that's the biggest thing about it was just the love and the messages. It was just, it was overwhelming really in a good way. And I'm just grateful. I think, the integrity things, it's amazing. We worked really, really, really hard to get there, just to be a part of the team, really, Albert. And that's kind of my reflection on it. It's it's a weird. It's like I already had that responsibility, but now it's even like I can't even explain other than I saw the video in the first time, and I was, emotional. I'll just say it that way. And my wife was with me, and I just remember telling her, like, I just want other people to feel what I'm feeling right now. Yep. And that's my burning desire, is just to help people in general. So, Friday when, everything kind of, anyway, long story short, I was working all night. And then Saturday we had a conference in Charlotte all day. The show goes on. And then, Monday morning in the office by 7, and nothing changed as far as how we're going to work. It's just, we have this amazing company behind us to support us. And it's definitely going to change, our lives, but it's going to change a lot of people's lives. So we're looking forward to the elite team being there, and Jack, and, it's not the same without you guys. So just so you guys know, if you don't know this, Albert was one of the guys I talk about, him and Trey, kind of jokingly, but it's true. I didn't have anybody to help me in the field because I was direct to Andrew, and they're like, he's like, well, call Albert for this. I think originally Albert tried to help me with annuity I was doing. I think I did one. I think I did mine too. I think I did one for myself, but he helped me. He was always there when I needed him. And, I just appreciate that. Without him, I don't, I'd had a big issue in the field a lot of times. So I'm grateful for that. And that never, you guys know what you have in a leader, Albert. So I shouldn't have to say a whole lot more, but I would just say, if you're on this team, work hard for your own personal goals. And, and have that as a goal for Elite, have that as a goal for, FFL Financial with Jack, because they're just such great guys, and they work hard and they want y'all to win. So that's what I would say. Come together as a team and just keep doing what you're doing. I'm hearing these numbers are great. So thanks, Albert.
Appreciate you. I think that kind of touches on a point. We actually got a chance to visit the Integrity headquarters, which I'll have these gentlemen share a little bit more after we're done talking to you. But, that's the great thing about this opportunity, because even without the Integrity deal, there's an opportunity to make a lot of money here and to be able to build a huge business, to be able to impact a lot of people. When the Integrity deal came around, because when you started here, the Integrity deal, had they announced it's even a thing yet? No, right? Yeah. So we were all just building. When I first met you at that convention down in
Yeah.
Las Vegas, you're like the new guy, and then you're introducing yourself to everybody, and I'm like, and you came and you're like, hey, can I take a picture with you? And I'm like, I'm a nobody too. Why don't nobody want a picture with me? But that's the thing. Like as the integrity deal revealed itself, after Sean was able to create that partnership, then it became such a seemingly incredible thing. Like it was just something where it seemed so massive and didn't know we could really achieve it. But then people started doing it. Then like it changed their lives dramatically. It changed their financial situation dramatically, but also it puts them in a much better position to be able to help a lot more people out. And the thing is, this is the reason why it's so great, because like Dave and I, we're not on the same team, directly, we're all in the same family with FFL, but even as he's like pursuing his deal, I'm like, cool. I'm really rooting for Dave, because it's not like there's a finite number of positions where like he got it on, now I can't get it.
Right.
Right. Like we're all going to win. We're all going to do it at our own pace. And Dave touched on a great point. It's like, pursue your own personal goals first. I mean, I appreciate the kind words, and then, I appreciate you wanting to help me and Jack and to get our deals. But I mean, like, if we do our jobs, we all just go out there and pursue what we need to personally do and take that seriously, and we all build our deal, like it'll all work itself out. Like it'll come when it's supposed to come.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not just going to chase it just to push the numbers. I want everybody to win. We're gonna build this, our way. We're just going to do it, and when that time is right, it's going to come, and the same going to be for these two
That's
guys
right.
as well. So you also have some guys that are chasing. What's your primary focus now to help them get their deals?
I mean, Eric is, close, and so there's that, and it's just and there's other guys, obviously. Continue to help all those guys. I mean, I think, always trying to bring on new people, always trying to work with new agents, trying to, I think, Albert, you do a good job of this, but relationships matter. So for me, it's some of my travel the last year and a half is just, as it's just, I just wanted to help. And so I just went everywhere. But sometimes when you go into towns, it's like, I'm really going to focus a little bit more on when I'm going there, just a little bit more intent, because I can go in and out of a meeting and really get the chance to build those relationships with some of the guys. So I want to, guys and gals, I want to, do more of that, and just, be able to get to know them all. And, by phone's a little bit different than in person. So when it travels, going to be a little more intent with that, but we just want to help everyone. So I'll go anywhere, anytime. And, our coach calls a play, I just run it, and so I just continue to, always trying to get better every single day. Recruiting, always trying to get better, learn from everyone around me, people that are winning, and, people that have more experience than I do, things like that. And obviously, following what Sean, like I said, coach calls a play, you kind of run it, right? So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I learned a lot about that the last couple of days, because we spent some time with Sean and Andrew.
Right.
And
nice.
To your credit, they just said, you're just a guy that just wants to help a lot of people. Like you said, you just run the play. They tell you to do something, and you're like, let's go, let's do it. And like I've always been a team player as well. I definitely respect everything that Sean and Andrew have done. But yeah, sometimes I've gotten to my own head, and I overthink things, and not that I don't take action. It's just I just decide to go a different way on certain things, and but that's for me to learn. That's for me to accept responsibility for, and I think as long as everybody recognizes that, then we're all copacetic.
Yeah. One of the big things with Dave, I know he didn't mention his background, but Dave has been in insurance for a while. And I think one of the great characteristic traits that you had when you came into FFL, you were just so humble and wanted to just come in fresh, clean slate, didn't come in with baggage of your previous experience, and just said, tell me what to do, done. And Sean always talks about that. Can you explain to everybody, if you're a brand new person, what great characteristics could you bring to FFL that can promote you back to an integrity deal sooner?
Well, I think we all have a journey. There's wisdom to gain. There's things to go through. It's just like, and I'm not saying that you're doing telesales is wrong. I was talking to somebody today. There's something about, in my mind, there's something about being in the car. There's something about, a late night, driving home, going somewhere you've never been, seeing people you never saw, there's something that you build doing that. I knocked on doors. I mean, I was with a company for 19 years knocking on doors. So you build so much in that process, right? So whatever you're bringing here, you know, the character, the integrity, the integrity that you have, being teachable and coachable, all those things, none of that changes. What does change in my mind, especially if you've never done life insurance, which I hadn't. I mean, we had a product, but it wasn't like we had one, and very, very few people would even qualify for it. So we just didn't even have a product really. We sold supplemental insurance. I was an agency owner. I knew, you know, a little bit of business. I mean, business acumen, I guess, to a certain degree. Obviously, I always learn, but I think there's that part. You know, people have to learn that to get it, you know, get in that place. But I work, if you just bring a great attitude and work hard, and then, you know, it was Andrew's talking to me, so I had two choices. I tell the story, but it's true. He was 30. I'm old enough to be his dad. I had two choices. I could take all the things I knew and just apply it here, meaning I thought I knew everything kind of thing. Or I could approach it with, hey, Andrew, what do I do? And then go do exactly that. And then make adjustments if I needed them. And that's all we did. I mean, I know that sounds like you guys, I mean, if you've never heard it, that's true. And the same thing with Sean. I mean, it's like, you know, if he says something, I just do it. And, you know, we kind of joke around saying, if he told me to run through a wall, I would, but he's not going to do that because he's never going to hurt me. See, and once you understand that the person you're working with, whether it's Albert, John, whoever it might be, you know, Jack, whoever, you're going to understand they're just trying to help you. And so if you just take that in, don't overthink things, and then go apply it and do it 10x everything, which is really where my mind is. You know, if they told me to do this, I try to do more, and, you know, keep doing that and just stay within the system and learn this system. And that's what we did.
And Sean's great. I mean, Sean's he's quite a character.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, he's human, you know, but you know, spending time with him, you know, you learn how much he cares about this business, how much he cares about people winning. And there's certain things that he'll tell you. I mean, myself included, this is what all I can refer to. Sure. Like sometimes it seems counterintuitive or doesn't seem to make very much sense because I'm so stuck in the way that I think. Yeah. And then so I'm just thinking like, oh, I don't know why he's doing that. Where in reality, he's like, he's already where most of us aspire to be, right? Mm-hmm. For those that are serious about building. If you're here to make a few sales here and there and to make a little bit of money, you just want to do this part-time, I mean, that's cool too. There's, you know, this is your business. Yeah. He's just so passionate about wanting to win for you more than you think you want to win for yourself. Right. And so sometimes it comes off a little bit aggressive, you know, like a hard basketball coach. Right. But yeah, he means so well. And I think that was the best thing that happened to you. Is like it just tuned in and synced in, and you just went and ran with it. You knew the intentions were good, and that's what we all need to like recognize. And Dave said, I mean, you were saying, you know, he would like running through a wall. If he told you to run through a wall, you do it, but he wouldn't say it because he wouldn't want to hurt you. Now the thing is, if we take advice from people, you know, that we trust, and people that we're going in a direction that we want to go, that direction we want to go, you might get hurt, but it's not because they were trying to hurt you. It's just because it's just part of the process. Right. You know, like too many people try to avoid pain, and too many people try to avoid the hard work because they just expect things to be easy, and they want to somehow magically grow. It doesn't work that way. You are going to get bumps and bruises along the way. You are going to get nicked up. You're going to take your lumps. That's just how it is if you want to grow. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And, you know, we have the best coach in the business. We have the best coach. I mean, I play ball, and, you know, I think of, you know, obviously I'm a college guy. I love, you know, the Bulldogs, obviously Kirby Smart and Nick Saban. But if you played for those guys, you know, Nuke Rodney back in the day, you could go through it, Vince Lombardi, you can go all these people over the history of time that are great coaches. And that's Sean Mike. I mean, he's going to challenge you. He sees things that we don't see in ourselves sometimes. He challenged me. He still saw something in me. So if you're coming here, going back to that, Albert, you know, there's a belief too. Like you come here, maybe you've been in the business, or maybe you've been in something where you failed before, you know, and you beat yourself up. You have to understand that this is a new opportunity, and it's a great opportunity for the right person that's willing to work hard, be teachable and coachable. And if you apply those things that you've learned through those hard processes, through those downtimes, through the things, and if you've had success too, and you come here and apply that, you're going to win faster, I believe, in this system with FFL by just doing those things. And, you know, hey, I had those calls too. It's funny. I had
a few calls 3 or 4 days in a row one time. And it was like, man, what the heck? And I was looking, and I'll just share this with you. I was like, but I reflected on it. And every time he was right. And I thought, he's just trying to teach me something. And so once I learned that, it was easy it's not easy. No, there's never an easy conversation if it's, someone's trying to teach you something really hard. It's like being a good parent, right? And so we have to, that tough love sometimes can, that's what it is though. It's tough love, and I understand that's where his heart's coming from. So, I think for us, and Albert and I might be different. It's like, hey, we love you, we care for you, we want, and it might be different. He's going to do it in a way of this, and then he's going to tell you that because he does,
Right.
And so it's like, once you understand that, who you're following, we got God first, and, I'm not going to preach to people, but I mean, at the end of the day, I know I was blessed to spend a lot of time with him. I know how he operates. I know how and you have too, as Albert. I mean, it's just crazy how much the guy gives back and how hard he works. So easy to follow that.
So I want to ask the real question now. What changed with the integrity deal for you? And let's start with that first, actually.
I mean, that I know I know where you're going with that. Like, what is? I hate to say nothing, because then it's like, why would I want to do it? But if you know me, it was just, I mean, truly, man, I'm just telling you, I just wanted to be on the team, dude. I did. I know the money's good. I mean, I'm not saying our life hasn't changed. It has. But at the end of the day, if that was the only reason I was doing this, I mean, dude, I was just sitting there thinking about today getting on this call. Albert asked me, like, what, I got 5. I didn't have it. Oh, yeah, I'll do it. Of course, because I love what I do. Like today I'm going to do a BDM here online on a Zoom at 7, and I could go somewhere, I could do whatever and change, but why? I mean, I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. When you find your passion, and man, dude, I mean, God's prepared me for this time to affect as many lives as possible. And I'm just grateful, man, to be able to give. I mean, I will tell you this, there's, some things I want to do for my church. Obviously, the Dream Center matters to me. There's some things like that we want to do. There's obviously some things we want to have for our family and things like that. But at the end of the day, I just want to help others win more and protect more families. So, as long as God has me. Somebody asked the other day, we were at the thing, and I asked Sean, was he going to retire? And he's like, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm like a train wreck. I'm not, he was like Sean is. And he goes, no, I don't see that. Like, what am I going to do? I love what I do. It might look different. He may not travel the country like he's doing right now forever, but he's going to be there. He's relying on us to do some of that. You know what I mean? But we've got great leadership. I don't know if that answers your question. I think the other thing it did too is it builds belief for the team, and that's why when I first came on, I'm talking about Albert, because him and Jack, and the more people you see get it, it gives you more belief, and they're not slowing down. They're not. So if you work hard and just understand that it's a process and it's going to take some time, you can get there. You can get yourself, if you're just starting right now, you can get yourself in a conversation year and a half. We did that. And we were blessed to be able to be here at the right time and take advantage of that. But we're about to hit another time like that. We did that during COVID. So, here we are in a place where the economy's turned, and there's more people in America right now. We're working 93% of the people right now, I think, is a all-time high of people having second jobs. I don't know if that's the exact number. We sold more life insurance last year than any time in history. So you put those two together, you're in the right place at the right. I mean, you couldn't be in a better place. So what's about to happen is going to be crazy if we take advantage of it. That's for sure.
Well, it's great to see that passion that you have for this, because I mean, I'm not at that point yet, but I love what I do. Like I love the process. Like, I don't love every aspect about it. Like I'm gonna be honest. There's certain things you got to deal with, but if you focus on those things, those negative things, the thing is, like, you're always going to be upset and you're always going to be unhappy. But those just accept it for what it is, and just focus on things that you do love about your opportunity. Focus on that and just keep putting in the work. You see the bigger picture for this. I 100% agree with Dave. Like it does. Whenever I get my deal, whenever I earn that, whenever I get to that point, it does build the belief. Like you guys would feel a little bit differently about it. You're like, yeah, it's much more attainable now that someone that we hang out, we're all the same.
Yeah.
I mean, not the same. I'm better looking, but but as far as our interests and how we view the world, I mean, we're very similar in a lot of ways. And why can't you guys
Yeah.
do it? Why can't everyone on this call do it?
Right.
If you want it enough. So, I mean, I think that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. I mean, it's not for the money because I already do what I want now. I mean, I don't have money to burn, but I mean, like, you know, this money doesn't drive me for that kind of stuff. But to be in a position like where Dave is at now, I mean, it would be a real blessing because now the responsibility really starts to help other people get to that point too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my follow-up questions to that is what was going to change for you, but what do you think is going to change now that Integrity is coming in to help your business and your team with Velocity? What do you expect to change, or where and what processes will Integrity help your business now?
Well, I mean, you got technology, you've got, Thomas Arts with social media, you've got all these major companies that they've also acquired with pretty much everything to run a, multi-billion-dollar company that you get to access. So that's going to help us. There's obviously a wealth of knowledge within the Integrity family as well. People that have had, built massive businesses that we get to meet and, talk to. Of course, we have, I think, just my opinion, some of the best here. So we get to talk to those guys like almost daily. So, that's great too. But I just think it's the largest life and health company in America. I mean, you've got a great leader in Brian and so many other great people down there. So I think the knowledge, like I said, the technology, all the different things that Integrity is able to do, Thomas Arts, social media, all those different things. I mean, cybersecurity. I mean, I could go through all these different things that I don't even know, like, how does that work? Like, it's just having that at our fingertips and having a phone call, email, whatever, we can talk to them and get advice, I think is huge. And, and that name's huge. I mean, it's going to become a household name. I think I was watching the thing today. They had a little something we watched. Anyway, it was something. And the thing is, it's like, hey, they know who you are now. I think they're starting to know, like if you go back 2-3 years, it's like, 6 years ago, I think it was, they started kind of really doing this, right? They had a handful of people and now we're at, I don't know, 125, 100. I don't know what the number exactly is. Over 125. I know that's on the site. But we have, I think, 25 pushing 30 really quick with FFL. That's pretty cool. So that should give every single person on this call, if that's truly what you want, is to build a business big enough that, somebody's willing to partner with you like that. And that's an amazing opportunity right in front of you.
Yeah, we had John Wedmore in studio a couple weeks ago, and he came on. He shared about the Integrity deal, and he's like, yeah, there's all these people that have like successful backgrounds. Some stuff I don't even know what they do. I just want to be part of it. Right? Like, he's supposed to have access to it. And now you're part of that club. Yeah. That's awesome. Now, Dave, you grew your agency very quickly. I mean, Velocity was a very fitting name. You grew your agency very quickly. You got to this point. Then you're able to hit this point. But the thing is, if you can go back in time and change some of the things to get you there faster or get you there more effectively, what would they be?
It's tough. I say we hired staff right away. I think I just would have recruited it. I mean, we did it fast, but I think, I would have maybe, it's one of those things you don't want to change anything, but because we did, it went really well. But there was a lot of things people didn't see behind the scenes, obviously, and things like that. But I think I would have probably scaled it a little bit faster with the staff, even though we did it, I think, still pretty fast. And I think we had 5 by the end of there was about an 8-month period. We went from kind of get started to over a month and whatever. I don't know if I can say that, but anyway, And so during that time, it was just, man, how can I get there faster? So it was just, I felt like staff, more people helping us grow. I think, there's some things investment wise and the way I structured things probably would have been different. I don't know that it necessarily made it go faster, but it would have been more profitable, if that makes sense.
Right.
But I didn't worry about that. Like, I wasn't concerned. I gave the comp away and things like that. That's something I would change because I heard that and we did that. But I also think that if a person comes in this business who's never had that experience, it's okay to, do we start at 9 and go up from there? I mean, I'm not saying it has to be 90, but let's just use 100. It's okay. It's okay because they can earn that. And we gave a lot more away than we probably should have, but it worked, So now we have to make those adjustments moving forward. and understand that, if that makes sense. So those are probably what I would do a little bit better.
Yeah, and that all makes sense. I mean, yeah, I've made a ton of mistakes in my time here, and I'm still going to continue to make mistakes. But it's just one of those things you have to accept it. You can't. I don't have any regrets because those things taught me some stuff. As long as I don't continue to keep doing them, then it served its purpose.
It's like if you think about a sprint. I relate it to athletics. I'm a little bit older now, so things hurt a little bit more. But if I had to run 3 miles, I would rather run it faster than slower, meaning because it's less painful because the time's over. Does that make sense? So in business, that's how I mean, every day I run a sprint, even though it's a marathon. Does that make sense? So it's like I get up with that kind of energy every day to work as hard as I can that day. I don't worry about tomorrow. I got to execute today. See, I think a lot of people in business and life and whatever, you're going to set a goal. What I would say is, here's the goal. But if you're new and you're listening to this, what I would say is you have to execute. And what I mean by that is if you don't have a lot of money, you got to pay bills, whatever, you're figuring out, hey, where's my, all these things that go through our head as new agents. We've all been there, every one of us. Okay. We're in that. But if you go in the home or you're on the phone or whatever it is, or the 8-hour period or 10-hour period or 12 or 15, whatever it is, how many hours you're going to work that day, if you'll just focus on executing, not the end result, you'll stay in the moment, better things happen. Because what happens is we start looking down the road. And then what happens is because we think so much, we're in a home thinking, well, if I don't make this sale, oh my gosh, I can't pay this. See, that's where our head goes. So if you just execute and not look at, you write the goal down, leave it over there, it'll work out. But don't think about that big goal every single day or it'll drive you nuts. If you just execute, and again, it goes back to my mind and the way I operate in my head. If I only focus on the person I'm with, the agent I'm with, and those type of things, I'm always going to feel better because I'm helping them. And all that other stuff doesn't really matter in those moments because you're not thinking about it. You're thinking about, how can I help Albert? He's right in front of me. How can I help this person who's right in front of me? Does that make sense?
Step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question, but it just escaped my mind. I was going to say, when you were talking about, you actually did get staff very quickly. I remember when you came aboard, you're like, I have like 5 staff members and whatever. But I mean, what would you say for the people that are on here watching that are serious, that really want to build a big agency? They want to get the integrity deal eventually, but the thing is, they're like they're reluctant to get staff. Like if they're just trying to be cheap about it, or they're trying to run it like a mom and pop shop. Like, is it hurting them in the long run to not get it sooner?
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing was if you're protecting 25, 30 families a month, you can do that. I mean, we're talking, it depends on where you live. I mean, what you can do, but you're talking of, 500,000, 800,000. I mean, whatever it is in that market to get somebody to help you a week, right? $500, whatever. Obviously, start about hourly, work them into something, but find somebody that calling the carriers in my mind is, I mean, first of all, we're in America mostly, but having them follow up with the carriers and the customers, that just takes time. And it takes time. I think here's my philosophy. So I'll just choose to simplify, right? So some of you are making really good money and you have no staff. So where's the money going? Like, I'm like, you only need to have so much in that account. It's not like I built this savings account up. It was touch and go sometimes. I'm just being honest with you. But what it did do is kept me working every single week. I never lost that consistency. See, a lot of people take time off. We didn't do that. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. Now I can if I want. But I mean, I'm just saying I just didn't take a lot of time off. I stayed in consistent work ethic every time. So sometimes having someone call this person. So if it wasn't making any money, Sean said this, again, one of the things he taught me early on is like, I heard him say, he said, if it's not making you money, then pay somebody else to do it. Right. I'm not saying calling a carrier, it helps you protect the money, sending a thank you card, those things, but it's not really making me money right then. Recruiting makes you money, but it takes time to do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't recruit because we should, we're the best. Right. But hire some other people to get people in the pipeline to recruit and do those things. The other thing, just related to simple, like if someone cuts their grass, dude, I'm not afraid of cutting grass, but I would rather pay $60, $80 to have somebody else cut it. Right. Because guess how much we can make an hour.
Right.
See, but some of you, and I'm just saying, well, I'll save it. No, why, dude? I can go see 3 customers while you're cutting. I mean, that's the mindset that has to change. It's like if you run a real business, then you should have other people helping you. That's my opinion. I don't think you got to have 5, but I think in the beginning, get 1 or 2 is probably a smart thing, especially if you're rating a high level. Some of these people that are writing, if they don't have staff, unless they're just not building, that's my opinion.
That's great advice. So, if a new agent is on here, what's your process? What's the first thing they should focus on if they're coming to this business?
I would look at, booking 30 appointments a week, focus on that or more. And, double book them, whatever you can do. Get good on the phone, pick up the phone as quick as possible and take action. Don't overthink about it. I know it sounds simple when Sean says it, but it's true. Hey, I'm coming over. I mean, he's doing that to make you understand that it's not like every single word you say is going to matter. The fact is, you just got to get in front of them. So whatever that takes, do it. Like, hey, I got a piece of paper, got to bring it to you, whatever. Hey, I'm coming by. I'll be there. I'll sit in your driveway till the cops come here. I mean, whatever. I know that's dramatic, but the truth is that's how we have to treat it. So it's just making the phone calls and taking action. The quicker you can get on the phone, the better. The better you become on the phone, the more appointments you have and the more appointments you run. And I know you heard this 100 times probably, but the faster you can run 100 appointments, the better off you're going to be. Why? Because that's where you're going to learn. I mean, you can learn from Albert, listen to him on a podcast, you can listen, but the real action and learning is actually doing it. Mm-hmm. That's when you learn. So go out there, get your nose beat up a little bit, buddy, and you never know how fast. It's not that hard. You get in the house, dude, I called Albert and I was at home. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just saying, I just went to work. I figure it out, I show up, and that's what I would do. So I would run 30 appointments a week. Once you get to the point where you're submitting, because my goal was to protect 10 families a week, every single week, week in and week out. Now, some of those weeks it was 12, some it was 15. I think my record might have been 22. I never had like some of these people, but I was consistent. That's the difference. Every week in, week out. My first year, guys, once I met Albert out in February, so we left that convention. And from that point forward, I literally missed 2 weeks. The entire year was less. And one was 6, 7 families. The other was 8 families. So put that in perspective 2 times. That's because I was consistent, working week in, week out. I wasn't number 1 every week. Now, in our group, we were until we had some other guys come on and then they followed that lead. But I think leading from the front like that is the best way to attract people. And then post it everywhere on social media, because you have people in your network that you don't know that are interested in this business. But if you don't post it, you're never going to know. And we posted it everywhere, all over, every day. I mean, you can't even get me off the phone.
And you've always been great. You and your entire group have always been great about hiring warm market or recruiting warm market. Okay, so any tips for the people on here if they want to hire the warm market?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, I was going to do this. We're going to try something new here. I mean, I learned I was talking to Josh Williams yesterday, something that they do. I'm just going to, I don't know why we got away from it, but, doing we call BDM when I started, but business overview and just doing one line, every day, at a certain time. And then that allows a new person just to, hey, you know what, check this out. We have the videos out there, guys. Here's the thing, take action and do something, right? So if you send a video, Steven used videos, great. I used that. You know what the heck I was doing? I was emailing to people. I mean, I sent the link up. Hey, watch this. Got a few people that way. Sharing on social media is huge. If you haven't had great success, share Albert stuff, sell John stuff, whoever. Put stuff out there on social media and just share other people's stuff, because they know you, not us. So they're going to call you or they're going to message you. Hey, what's this all about? What are you doing? But use social media. If you have somebody you respect or whatever, put them on a list. And maybe you don't call them today, but why not? Call them and say, listen, hey, I'd like to introduce you to one of my business partners. His name's Albert. He lives over in, LA. Are you open to conversation? Are you fully happy where you're at? I mean, would you, if you find people, one of the things that Albert, I was really bad about this when I first came here, because I knew I was in the best place. I worked all these years, this comp, and here I am. And dude, I was like smashing. I'm like, man, that sucks. Why are you not over here? That kind of thing. I wouldn't be mean, but you know what I'm saying? And now I think it's more, hey, what would you change? Because there's people that think they're happy where they're at, but once you ask that question, you wouldn't believe what comes out of their mouth. Like, well, I wish I got paid more. Well, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. I wish I had the freedom. I hate being captive. Okay, but you just said you liked what you're doing. You just gave me 10 things why you don't like what you're doing. So why are you not here? Let me fix that for you. So anyway, those are some things. I think it's just throwing the fishing line out everywhere, all day, however you can do it. Meeting somebody in an Uber, meet somebody. I mean, there's people that are in this business. Andrew came because he was bagging groceries. Think about that. Paul was working in sewers or whatever, I mean, so guys, they're around us everywhere. We don't know who's going to be the next Mark Me. We don't know who's going to be the next Albert. We don't know who's going to be the next Jack. We don't know who's going to be the next Andrew. But if we talk to them, they may be that person.
Well, that's all great stuff, and I really appreciate you coming on. You know, any time that you can make time for us. I know you got a really busy schedule, so I'm going to let you go. But you know, I just wanted to. I'm glad you were able to come on and share with you. And I actually had a little bit of pretext for having you on. I actually just wanted to get you on so I can publicly congratulate you because I love you that much, Dave.
Well,
Congrats,
I love you
Dave.
for that, man. And I will say this, like, it's a big deal. It is a big deal. I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm just trying to understand. I want you to understand where my heart is. Yes, we have more money than we've ever, had. Things like that are great. Here we want to grow. I mean, obviously we're private. We want to help them grow the stock. We want to help all you guys get deals. Who wants it? That type of thing. But you got to work for it. It's not easy. If this was easy, everybody'd be doing it. Now, you can make a lot of money here and, go out and, work a couple of days a week. If that's what you want to do it. But if you really want a business, a real business, and you've got to,
Duty
you
calls.
got to make it happen, right? So I love you guys, man. I'll help you out anytime. You let me know. Hope this mattered to you. Hope there was something I said. I mean, that's one thing I too when I talk is if there's just one person I could say something to change their life, that's what we want to try to do every day. So hopefully that makes a difference for you.
Awesome, amazing stuff. And if any one of you guys want to meet Dave, or you want to leverage his infectious personality and energy with to be able to help you build your agency, he's going to be at the Kansas City and Providence, Rhode Island business overviews. That'll be all posted all over. So if you have any specific questions, reach out to us. But thanks, Dave. Appreciate your time.
Albert, you're going to be in St. Louis?
I will be July 15th.
Got it. Okay.
If you're in town, look us up.
Yeah, no, we got a few folks out there, as you know. I didn't know if you were going to be there, but yeah, we'll definitely get together out there at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll connect.
Just like last time.
That's right.
All right. Love you, man.
Dave.
Appreciate you guys.
Love you.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate you.
Congrats, Dave.
Thanks, guys.
Congrats.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. So, man, that's exciting
Crazy
stuff.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the integrity deal, we actually got a chance to go and visit the integrity headquarters out in Dallas, Texas. I was able to bring a couple of guys. We were just here. Andrew Taylor came by last week to get on our podcast, and he wanted to have dinner with a few guys, and these guys were around. So I was like, let's go grab some dinner. Then we started talking about a visit to the integrity headquarters, which we haven't had a chance to check out yet. So we'll have the other participants that got a chance to check it out. They'll share maybe next week. We're also looking to bring more people, so we'll get into that in just a bit. But this is your guys' first time at the headquarters. What was your guys' impressions?
Go ahead, Cliff.
It was off the chain. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I guess like first coming in, hearing about the integrity deal, I'm gonna be pretty honest with you guys. Like, it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope to understand that, hey, you know what? There's a potential to get the business bought out, and you could get paid all this crazy amounts of money. But I guess in the beginning, it was more of like, it was kind of like foggy because it was just more of like, he say, she say, and obviously other people get an integrity deal. But I didn't really see it for myself. And I didn't really know that it didn't feel real to me because of coming from where I'm from and, making the little money that I make now, which is way more than I made before. It was just a lot different. And then actually going there and seeing that it's real and seeing the people behind the business, I was like, whoa, like, yo, dude, this is real. Like there's things that you have to change to actually level up your business and actually be in the position to actually have that happen for yourself. And then I was just thinking more of like trying to like imagine how many people I can help. For example, the agents that's working with me today, how many of these agents can I get to this level? How many of these agents can I get to this trip? And I'm not going to lie, going on this trip, I thought it was good. I knew it was going to be cool and all that stuff, but I didn't know it was going to like, you can say fuel me this much. It's really exciting, like sitting here. And normally I'm nervous on this podcast, but I'm like, I'm fired up. I'm like, I'm ready to go. Like, I want to do this. Like, that's how it felt for me. I'm gonna keep it real brief, but integrity is real, man, and it's here, man. And if you're ready, come get it. Let's hustle hard and make this money, man. It's a life-changing opportunity. Hashtag generational. That's what I did there. But yeah, man. As mentioned before, I'm gonna keep it short because I just want to get out there and make things happen. There's a lot of things in the works. Like I have a clear view, a vision, a clear plan, and I'm just ready to execute, man. I want to be up there one of these days telling you guys like, hey, man, these are the steps that I took to get this integrity deal. These are the changes that I made. And you know what I'm saying? And these are the people that I was able to help. Like one of these days. It ain't going to be tomorrow, but it's going to be one of these days for sure. Remember that.
So did it make it seem much more attainable now that you got?
Yeah, 100%. Because as I mentioned before, like just be like coming from the hood, just being, you know, a guy from the slums, you know, being also being, you know, from the slums of Jamaica, an immigrant. Like I would have never, don't get me wrong. I wanted to make a lot of money. I knew I was going to make, you know, some type of money, but like to be in that room and to get you can say the level of respect from these people that have all kinds of money and just say I'm saying them to show me love and to be able to pour into me. I was like, oh man, this is amazing. Like I can potentially be one of them. So I thought it was, yeah.
I thought it was really cool. I mean, there's a lot of guys with an insane amount of success and they had an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
Yet they were just talking to us like regular people.
Yeah.
They were very humble.
Very.
They weren't like, they didn't big time us. Like, you know, it felt really cool. And it'll be really cool for if we work for it,
right?
And if we earn it, we'll be in that same position to be able to do the same for other people.
On it.
So, what was your impression, John?
It was great. From the time from meeting and, you know, having the chat with Sean Mike and Andrew, picking up Sean Mike's brain and going in and then, man, they laid it all out for us on what is needed from running a lemonade stand to running a real business, you know, what they want to see out of it. So I took a lot of notes I'd like to share for you guys. And we got to meet Ben and Steven, right?
Ben Michael and Steven Prince from Integrity.
Yeah. So these guys, they're part of the M&A, which is the mergers and acquisitions. And Ben pretty much just laid it out. Here's what's going to happen. Here's what's really needed. Essentially, they don't care where the money's coming from, but they want to see you making money. Okay. They want to see you making money. And it came to me. He said, you have your gross revenue, the money coming into your bank account minus your expenses. If these are in 7 figures, we can have a conversation. Right. That was the bottom line. Here's like, you got your top line minus your bottom line, minus your expenses, which is your bottom line. This has to be at least, you know, 7 figures. We can have a conversation. And then he just went through like, okay, how do we look at that? There's multiple steps, you know. First step, structuring the deal. They want to like create a valuation out of your business. So they have a conversation with you. They start talking. We start talking. They start saying, okay, send us your stuff. Send us your QuickBooks or your accounting. You know, they want to be able to start.
P&Ls, your profits and losses.
Right. So they want to be able to start looking at that. And then when it goes into details, they will then hire a third-party company. Okay. PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is an accounting firm. They're going to do their due diligence to then figure out what is the best valuation of your business. And then from then on, they make you an offer. Okay. So it takes time, but this is a real business. And the most important part of it, there is no shortcut to get there. Like they are going to do a deal to give you that lump sum of money plus stock purchases, plus all these avenues and resources that Integrity will do. They want to be able to create a firm decision that you're also going to be an asset to them. Okay. So just think bigger. That's what I'm thinking at for my business. You know, how can I be an asset to Integrity, but how can I turn this from lemonade stand into a real conglomerate, a real business that people want to be attracted to? So
like it.
But yeah, the second part, man, when Ben started naming off all the factors and departments that they have, Dave kind of mentioned it, but yeah, they were introducing people. They got coders, they got techs, they got IT support, they got cybersecurity. They have an HR department. They have benefits. They have 401k. They have benefits for your employees. They have human relations. Man, they got access to like legal counsel, lawyers, everything available at your fingertips. So basically, once you have the deal, all the little things you had to figure out on your own, they're bringing in the internal structure for you. So you will then just be able to focus on growing your business by leading your team, selling, and teaching how to people how to sell. So, and then what I picked up from Andrew during the conversation, because we had a little bit of time, we were hanging out with Andrew. We were waiting for the rest of the team to start. I got to pick up a lot of things about having staff and having proper staff with Andrew and what he did to get his deal before he sold out or partnered out. And it was just having proper staffing. And so that's what I think I'm going to implement on.
Yeah, I mean, we talked with Andrew about that too, and like for me, I mean, like I want to help the team and everything that I can do. So I mean, I've always been like, yeah, I'll take care of the stuff. I'll run this for as long as I can and
Yes.
help as many people as I can. But when in talking to Andrew and then also like hearing from everyone from Integrity, when you get to a certain point, when you're big enough, when your agency gets to a certain point, I mean, you should have your own staff.
Yes.
I mean, it's not because my staff can't handle it. It's more that you should be taking more ownership. You should be focusing on like, I want to build my agency up to a certain level. And in order for me to do that, I can't run it like a mom and pop shop. I can't run it like a lemonade stand, as everyone talks about. You know, you got to have real staff and real business. I mean, and how would you know how to run it until you actually just start doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you still have the support of, you know, our group. I mean, Yoel and Sam and Joanne and, you know, Talise. I mean, we're all still going to continue to be there for you and help you guys, you know, build up your infrastructure, but you should have your own if you're serious about this.
Yeah. And then what really drew me in, and I took a note of that, what Andrew said was, once I learned how to do staff, to grow your business from you turning into a business, you got to teach others to grow their business. So you got to get staff, learn and train your staff, but also teach your downlines and your agencies and your sub agencies how to also properly hire and run a staff of their own. Because if not, you know, everyone just says, get staff. Okay. But if you don't know how to do it, and then you're telling your downlines to do it, but no one knows how to do it, you know, how do you properly, create your departments and your roles? So I asked him, so specifically, so how many staff do you have? He said he has 10. Here's a couple of things. The staff that he runs, you know, he has 2 leads department. He has 2 contracting. He has 2 marketing, 1 personal assistant. You got factory fresh and 2 recruiters is what he recommended. So you start labeling these things, you know, when you're a brand, you know, one agency, one agent alone, one agency owner, you're thinking and doing all of these things. You can't completely do it on your own, right? Not to scale in the right way.
Yeah. I mean, Stephen Prince was talking about what kind of people they want. It's not just someone that's really profitable. You can't just be like a producer. You have to have be an agency owner. Like you have to have an agency, which means that you're able to reproduce, you know, that profitability, that ability to be able to continue to grow your company. And since we're on the topic of staff, I mean, I remember like John made a great point. If you don't have staff, like how do you know what to do with them? Like, but the thing is, hey, Yoel, you remember when I first hired you?
I do.
Okay. And then when I first hired you and I had the same conversation, I'm like, I know I need to have staff. I don't really know exactly what you're going to be doing, but I know that I need these certain things. And, you know, I don't know how this thing goes because I've never had staff before.
Yeah. I said perfect.
You all just kept talking about a raise, you know.
But Andrew,
so you give them a raise every month.
Andrew said a good point. He said, you don't make it as simple as just like going out into the field. Look, he said he hired a staff and he said, look, these are other agencies that are doing it well. Here's their numbers. Figure it out.
Yeah, do some here are the numbers, do some research. And then it's your job to figure out your position. Right?
Yeah. And let your staff make mistakes too. You know, that's how you learn.
Like I came in part-time. I mean, I've had subcontractors that, you know, did jobs here and there, you know. I don't think you have to hire people full-time off rip. Like you can kind of stick your toes in, figure it out. And then once you get a grip of it, bring them on full-time. I don't think that's a weird concept.
Yeah.
Well, what I came to learn about hiring Yoel and Joanne back then, like at the time, my biggest concern, first of all, was like, am I going to be able to afford them?
Yes.
Right. So I'm like, do I, you know, now that's going to take away a certain amount of money each month, and I still got to make rent. I still got to, you know, pay for all the expenses. You know, I got to pay for my recruiting, all this other stuff. And I'm just thinking, like, am I going to be able to pay them? Is it going to be worth it?
Yes.
Right. But that actually put on a good pressure on me. Like, I'm like, now I've got to make sure I grow because I got to make sure I can pay these guys. Mm-hmm. And then it leads me to think, I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to be paying these guys, they have to bring more value to what we're doing. So now I have to work with them. That makes my brain like actually move and think about like, okay, how do I create more value for all of us?
Yeah.
You know, for me to make more money so I can pay them. And it makes sense for us to continue to increase their workload, increase their time and hours and everything. Just
and it's a mind state. So Andrew flipped it back. He said, look, you are hiring staff to grow your business so you can make more money, right? So the value of your staff should grow your profits. So you got to think the opposite way. how much money are you losing because you don't have staff right now? Okay, how much money you're leaving on your opportunity costs off the table because of that. And then Sean Mike at the end, you know, when Ben and Steven finished, he said, "You ain't gonna smell any of this unless you go to work." It's all nice and dandy, but you got to go to work. And then he also said, "You got to stop making decisions based on money because you're not selling enough." So if you're selling the right way, like what David Whichard said, the staff will be affordable. So don't make bad decisions because you're not selling enough.
When worst comes to worst, when it comes to staff, Andrew brought up this point too. Like if you hire staff and you don't grow, I think Sean might have brought
That's
this
it.
point.
Yeah, let him go.
If you don't grow, let them go.
Yeah.
I mean, not like it would. I would feel awful if I had to tell you all, I'm like, sorry, man, I gotta let you go. We didn't make enough money.
That's life, though. That's okay.
It's life, but look, if you genuinely care about your business and you care about the people that you work with, you'll find a way.
Yeah.
I've had my ups and downs, you know, here
Mhm.
in terms of growing the team. And there was just times I'm like, all right, we need to figure this thing out because I can't continue on this way or else it's gonna break me. But the thing is, we always figure it out because we just keep working, keep the communication going. I tell him what we need. He tells me what he needs, and you know, we'll figure it out. You know, if you're committed to making this work, you'll somehow make this thing work.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's usually no like confusion. Like I knew coming in off rip, like I'm here to make more money for the business. Like whatever my role is to help make more money for the business. It's not, you know, to be cool, to be this. Like I think if that's clear, then you know, you can do a lot of good stuff with collaboration, you know.
And that's the one thing I also learned in the process of having staff. It's also like if you take personal responsibility for it, the thing is if you don't get certain things done or you have to get to the point where you have to turn people over, the thing is it's not really their fault.
Yeah.
It's you didn't set those clear enough expectations because you didn't really know what you wanted. So I mean, it's all a learning lesson. It's the same with building an agency, same with hiring or recruiting new agents and bringing them on. And it's all about, working your leads. The only thing that you can fix is yourself. So just accept responsibility. Don't blame it on anything external because you're giving away control.
Yeah.
And to finish it up, we'll leave you guys with this one. You know, we got an opportunity to ride on Sean's jet. Was that a cool experience?
Oh yeah, man. It was pretty it was pretty tight. It was pretty tight.
This is your first time on the jet.
Yeah.
So in addition to that, I mean, like we had an opportunity to do all this cool stuff. And then I was talking to Sean on the jet and I was like, did you ever like envision yourself when you're in your younger days that you'd be able to do stuff like this? He's like, it's cool, but the thing is, I haven't slept in my own bed in 31 days.
Yeah.
And it's more convenient to fly, private and do all this other stuff and have like town cars waiting for you and shuttles waiting for you as soon as you get off. But it's something that you have to sacrifice for in order to get to that point. And it's not to have the stuff so you can look cool. It's just like now he's more efficient.
Yeah.
Now you can do more things. And if you want to be able to live that type of lifestyle, you have to earn it. You have to put yourself in a position to be able to do that. And we all have that same opportunity here. We can all build our agency exactly to the position you're in right now. Whatever it is that you did or whatever you decided to do, or whatever you decided not to do, all those decisions and all those actions or inactions have led you exactly to this point. And, I remember when we got on, because I've been around Sean enough now. He's an awesome tipper.
Yeah.
He tips everyone great. And I truly respect that because I think so oftentimes it's such an overlooked, custom or thing that people do in the society. And oftentimes people are trying to tip the least amount and trying to be cheap about it and being like, oh, well, he didn't do this much for me. I don't really need to tip him this much. Where in actuality, I look at it like from every time that Sean tips really well, I'm just like, I don't know if I have this much money, but I'm just going to tip him the same and tip him as much as I can. Even to the point where it hurts sometimes because I look at it like it's a challenge.
Yeah, it's a mind state too.
These people, I mean, if you were in that position, think about how thrilled you'd be to get $100 or get a nice tip.
Yeah.
And we all would like that for ourselves, but the thing is, if we don't put ourselves in a position to be able to afford that and to be able to do that, I'm like this morning, I texted John, I'm like, I'm about to leave the hotel. And I was like, hey, do you have like a 20 or something, you know, for the housekeeper?
We tipped it all away.
We tipped everything. So I spent all my cash on tipping. And then he's like, no, I only have 100. I'm like, yeah, that's all I got too. So I'm like, I guess she came up. So I left 100. And, you know, does it seem excessive? Maybe. But then again, it's also like, I think about if that was like my mom, or I think about if it was like someone that I cared about working as a housekeeper, right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, how awesome would that be? And the thing is, we can all do that legitimately if we earn money. And the way we earn money is we add value. And we add value because we put in work.
You know what's funny? Tipping all the tipping for those 2 days, or that was actually 1 day. It kind of multiple times in that 1 day. It's kind of contagious in a little bit. So earlier today, I went to Hobby Lobby to pick up my custom frames, and you know the two guys, they were taking the frames to the truck and everything, and it was like, you know, they were trying to figure it out. They were playing Tetris almost, you know, trying to figure out how to get in there. Finally, it's in there, and I was like, oh wait, and I reached in my pocket. I was like, hey, y'all can take tips, right? And I gave him like a 20, but to be honest, like I didn't even notice. Like I was like, wait, I don't really like do this. like tip him just to put a frame in my car. But like you saying that just now, I was like, man, now it's contagious. I'm probably gonna tip everybody now. Like, oh. But I understand what you meant by that. Just like being able to see that, because I remember when, not to be too long, I remember when I was doing Instacart, and I was like driving far distances, and there was time they didn't tip me, and I was like, dang, I drove all the way over here for like $7.32. I'm like, man, now I'm like, you know, and it was tough. And I remember I drove down the street and some lady tipped me $20, and I remember how that felt. I was like, man, this is great. I get to keep on moving. It's like, now I get to, you can say, not necessarily take a day off or anything like that, but now I'm able to catch up on bills or whatever the case might be. So yeah, it definitely makes a difference.
And I totally believe that when Sean does these like generous things, I mean, yeah, I mean, they deserve it. I mean, it's nice to do it for them, but every time that you can do something nice for a person like that, and I've seen this from people I've tipped. Well, like you just see, like they look at it like are you sure, and they're like what's going on here? But the thing is, like, you remember how great it makes them feel, and then it adds value to yourself.
Yeah.
And then also what it could potentially do is spark them to believe that they're worth more.
Yeah.
And then, you know, maybe they'll ask you like what you do, and then maybe this is an opportunity for you to be able to share this opportunity.
Yeah.
But let's all just aspire to do better. Let's just all.
If I could add something,
work, yeah.
For me, it's more of a mind state. Like, you know, when you're always hoarding, right? You feel like you don't have enough. But when you're always giving, it's a mind state. You have a mind state of an abundance. You have a mind state of you can always make more. So you have a mind state of giving. Like, I'm okay with letting this go because more will come. So same thing with building a staff. I'm okay with risking this investment because more will come. So the more you start tipping, you know, you start hanging around with Sean, the little things you start following. He's there's purpose and clear intent into it.
You guys spend more money because of me.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and
I gotta stop hanging out with you.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, I mean, I pay for some stuff, but you know, but at least I see you guys like just thinking bigger, tipping bigger, you know, just doing these things, or going to nicer places.
Yeah.
You know, which, I mean, it's not about that. It's just about just thinking bigger and believing in yourself and believing that you deserve whatever you can earn. And why don't we all just deserve more and earn more?
Yeah.
So we all are in control of that. So let's focus on that. You know, let's focus on just the added benefit to all these other people if we can continue to improve ourselves and continue to add value to the people around us. So hope that's something that, you know, it's helpful for you guys. I'm Dave Whichard. Appreciate you for coming on and sharing. Appreciate you guys coming on and sharing your perspectives. As far as the integrity visit, you know, for those of you that are interested, you know, let's add value first. You know, make sure you start building a team and start showing these guys that you're serious, because it's not just like a free tour. It's like they want to know their future partners. And it doesn't matter where you are right now, because the thing is, we all have to start somewhere. But if you're serious about the opportunity, you know, reach out to me. You know, we'll see if we can set something up for you. They're going to start doing it every month, according to Sean and Andrew. So, you know, let's go out there. Let's go impact some more people. Let's continue to raise our own personal value so we can help the people around us and help raise their value. It all starts with us. So let's go out there and be elite, guys.
Definitely. Great evening, guys. Peace.